Hey guys, I'm Kyle. Welcome back to another video. I could not be any more excited today. If you noticed by the farm fields and windmills, I am in Indiana right now, and I'm headed to meet a guy, another ZR2 guy that I met last year at an off-road park. He has a steel front bumper that he doesn't really want to have anymore, and I have a stock bumper that he wants. So we are going to do a bumper swap, and I am getting a steel front bumper from Little B's Fabrication. That is one of my favorite bumpers on the market today. And that's pretty much it. We're going to switch bumpers and I couldn't be more excited. So I'll catch up with you when we're there. All right, guys, so we are here. This is Cam. So he has this Little B's steel bumper, and this is what we're gonna be putting on my truck, and he will be getting the stock bumper off of mine. So before we get too far into this, why is it that you originally picked this bumper?
So this is a really cool bumper. I really liked it. I expedited getting an aftermarket bumper. It was accident inspired. And my good friend Kyle here actually suggested this exact bumper. I've been very happy with it. The only reason I'm going back to stock is I drive 50 miles one way to work every day. And although the diesel gets really good fuel economy, it does take away about 3 to 5 miles per gallon. So taking that excess weight off of there, going back to the stock, I value the fuel economy a little bit better at this point.
All right, so we'll see. Obviously, he has some before and after numbers that he's seen for gas mileage on his truck. We'll see what it does before and after gas mileage on mine, and how much it makes the front end of my truck sag. We're gonna measure the wheel well and see what kind of sag we get from a 100-pound bumper on the front of it. I'm real excited. I'm a little bit more into rock crawling, and I've just kind of decided that my gas mileage isn't what it used to be, and it's never gonna be that again. So I'm excited to get some steel protection on the front. He's gonna get hooked up with hopefully some improvement in aerodynamics and fuel economy, saving some weight. And we'll get to it. We'll kind of walk you guys through. You'll get to see how we do it. So I know for me, this is a little intimidating, taking the front of this apart. Cam's done it before, so I'll just follow his lead and we'll get it done. All right, so just a real quick walkthrough of what you're gonna have to do to get this front end apart. Up on the top of the grill, there's a little T15s there. In this slot, there's 4 bolts that are, there you can see that one gray bolt right there. There's 4 of those recessed up into there. That one's already been removed. And then on the sides, you're gonna start by taking out all of these T15 screws all the way down. And there's one down there. They're just all over the place. There's one in the fender there. And then that will let you peel this inner fender liner back. And that's what we're working on right now. Once you get that out, then you're gonna have 3 of these 7mm bolts right there. 1, 2, and 3. And that should be everything to get the bumper off. So we'll see if it works. So just when we thought this bumper was about ready to come off, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per side on the bottom under here. All right, so this is our before measurement to see how much the truck sags from the bumper. Going right at the center of the wheel. And to the fender, we have 39 1/4. So we'll see how much it sags. All right, so we now have the whole front end of the truck off. The only thing that I couldn't really show you on camera while we were removing, I can show you on Cam's truck over here, is once you get all the hardware removed, there's this little bracket that is just a pop clip, and that's all that it's held on by. And so once you have all the bolts removed, then you just have to yank on that and get that to pop out. All right, so starting to come back together. I'll kind of walk you guys through the grill. So the grill separates from the lower part of the grill. You'll see on his here, we have, or the lower part of the bumper So this is the part that gets cut. The grill piece does not get cut for the bumper trim. So this right here is where it gets cut, and then you cut up and across. So we swapped these. Obviously, this used to be my plastic bumper. We swapped the panels to be the correct color for the vehicle. And then I put the red panels on the cut bumper. So this, you can see this lower part is separate from the upper part of the grill. And they just clip together pretty easily. And then buttoned this all back up and trimmed my fender liners. So we chose to keep a little bit more of the fender liner and ran it all the way down and zip tied it under there. So instead of cutting it all the way off here, we left it and ran it all the way down there. So now, the only thing to do is bolt the bumper on, and that's actually like the easiest part. It's gonna be 4 bolts on each side. It'll use these 2 where the crash bar mounted to, and then it'll use the 2 tow hook bolts, and we'll get it put on. All right, guys, so it is done, fully installed. Man, I'm so happy with how it looks. I love that hybrid style plate in the center, tube on the side. I'm not a huge fan of a winch bumper with no winch in it. I'd like to get a winch in there sooner or later. Unfortunately, my Apex Badlands winch does not fit, and I believe this bumper is only rated for a 9500 winch, and mine is a 12,000. So I'll probably end up getting a worn 9500 for the front bumper. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, guys. I'll try to give you some different angles here, but I'm super happy with this bumper. And here you can see his ZR2, again, BDS 4-inch lift 35s, now has the stock bumper on it from my truck. So now we're doing the after measurement. So again, we're gonna go right off the center of the wheel. It doesn't make any sense. It's at 39.25.
Did you already put your other tire back on?
I did.
So you got zero
Zero sag from 100 pounds on the front end.
That's pretty impressive.
That doesn't make any sense.
It defies physics.
It defies. All right, you still got it going?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take our measurement here. So this is pretty crazy. We're actually getting the same measurement. We did this when we first bolted the bumper on, and we were seeing about 1/4 of an inch of sag. But I've driven a loop around the field, and we're still seeing 39.25, which was our stock measurement. So that is defying physics and not sagging at all from a 100-pound bumper. I don't know what to tell you, but there it is. All right, guys, so just for fun, he's got stock wheels on 35s, but he runs spacers for his BDS lift. So obviously I was gonna throw one of the 35s on my truck and see if it clears, and check this out. So this is cranked to full lock, and the trimming that I did, mind turning the wheel? Turn to full lock, and the trimming that I did makes this clear just barely. With the front bumper, full clearance on 35s. So we're gonna roll out and see if we rub when we articulate.
Haven't seen it rubbing yet.
So we just finished getting the bumpers done, and Cam says, hey, you know, I have this creek on my property that I've always wanted to drive through, and I've never tried driving through it. Let's go try it. So that's what we did. I think you're in your bumper.
I'm never getting out of this.
Nope. All right, guys, we have some bad news. This is still same day, just got the bumper put on. And he's got a little creek over here that he had never tried to drive through. And he decided to try to drive through it. So he was driving his truck, I was driving mine. Unfortunately, we didn't have anyone to film the recovery, that is. So he was buried in the swamp water, and I set up, man, I thought I set up the tow as good as I could have. I actually used a Y, so I used my tree saver to go between my two tow points. So I was pulling off both tow points on the bumper, and then I had my kinetic rope off the tree saver. If you can picture that, tree saver loops through the kinetic rope and uses both. You know what I mean. Anyway, so I'm pulling off both tow points on the bumper and pulling the kinetic rope. I had to yank on him hard. I was like momentum in reverse, 10 miles an hour, yanking on him to get him up like 2 feet out of the creek that he was down in it. So the result, I've heard multiple other people talk about this weak point on this bumper, and I do believe it is a weak point from GM. And there wasn't a lot that any bumper manufacturer could do to do this better. This bumper is mounted to the two tow hook points, but then as you can see, the D-ring mount is higher for ground clearance than the tow hook mount. So what are you doing? You're pulling down on it, and it's mounted to this crash bar, which is not strong. And right there, you can see what happened. So it bent the metal plate on the end of the frame off of the frame. So right there, it's only a little bit, but out here, you can see how much that did. It bent that bar up into the bumper, or up into the fender flare and out. So that is bent. We're going to take the bumper off again. We're losing daylight now, but we're going to take the bumper off again. We're going to see if we can hammer those back flat and put the bumper back on. All right, so now we have the bumper back off. You can clearly see where that problem is. Cracked, bent. In GM's defense, this is designed to hold the crash bar on, and it would only take an impact pushing into it. It was not engineered to be pulled on. The toe points were designed to be pulled on, but not up here. So when the new bumper has a toe point higher than the normal toe points were, now you're pulling down, and this was not engineered to be pulled on. When I get moved to South Carolina, I'm gonna get a better garage shop set up. I'm gonna get a welder, and I'm gonna make a gusset plate that actually comes across the top here, weld to the top of the frame and out here to reinforce that. For now, we're just gonna hammer it back in and try to get the bumper back on. The best tool ever. So you can see this one's bent slightly, not bent as much as the other side was, but we're gonna hit this one too. Now hopefully the bumper fits. They're a little angled, not perfect. Let's see if the bumper fits. All right. Whew. So that's done. Back on. We have this this alignment back to where it should be. The top, it's back in the right spot. So you can see still a little warped in the metal, but for the most part we got it back to flush. We got it back flat. Other side is the same way. So after that, what do I think? Overall, I'm still happy. I think it's a good product. I don't really wish, like, would it be a stronger bumper if the toe points were lower? Yes, I think it would be stronger if the toe points were lower, but you would lose ground clearance and approach angle, and I think it makes sense that they're as high as they are. So the solution is just to actually get a welder and reinforce that frame plate on the end of the frame. Until then, I'm just not going to recover anybody off of my front bumper. I'll use my rear bumper next time. Lesson learned. All right, what a day. Bumper's done, bumper's done. I'm happy. That bumper's awesome. Cam, what do you think?
Let's switch back. No, I'm just kidding.
I have the better.
Very pleased with this.
I have the better bumper now. So we'll see. I'll post in the comments when I hear from Cam if he actually gets better gas mileage from the bumper. That'll be cool to see. Gas mileage results on his end, and obviously I'll share gas mileage results on my end. Coming here, I went a little fast. I went 70, 75 back and forth the whole way here, and I got 16 and a half with my truck. So going home, I'll do the same thing, some 70, some 75. We'll see if I get 16 and a half, or if I lose some, how much I lose. All right, thanks for checking out this video. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. All right, so the mysteries of my truck continue to go unsolved. I'm going on the way home with the steel bumper. I got 18.5 miles to gallon, or 2 miles per gallon better than I did driving there with the stock bumper. So maybe it was a tailwind, maybe it was magic. We may never know.